John Pupil, graduate student safety, transferred in from Dartmouth, makes the stop for BC.
Yeah, and again, another really good read by Kevin Jennings. He had a deep sail route that the cornerback sat deep on and hit Jalen Knight down the backfield. Just another good pickup on first down.
SMU will cycle tons of receivers and running backs. Now LJ Johnson is in at tailback. He'll get the carry. Powers his way through the middle of that Boston College defense, and he'll pick up another first down.
Well, this offense, as you mentioned, all the guys who are going to get involved, and this offense has really been good all around. You look at where they rank in the AAC in total yards, passing yards. I mean, this is an offense that under Rhett Lashley, they know how to score points, and they do it fast, especially in the first quarter.
Johnson stays in the game at tailback. Jennings fakes to him and will pass. Steps up in the pocket. Now he's going to run with it. Vinny DePalma eventually tracked him down, but the chains move once again.
Well, here you go. We've seen him step up in the pocket and throw it. This time, he sees an open window with man-to-man defense by Boston College, and it's a great job of picking up enough and avoiding the big hit by Vinny DePalma.
Flags before the snap.
False start. Offense, number 51. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Justin Osborne on the false start. Think about this offensive line, Mark. Osborne, all AAC. Left guard, Logan Parr, all AAC. Left tackle, Marcus Bryant, all AAC. I mean, the entire line is All-American Conference.
Yeah, and I think that the note after the season from SMU was that not a lot of their skill players got those all-league nods. And it wasn't because they weren't good. It's because they spread the ball around so much to all these different wide receivers and running backs. And when you have 8 receivers on your team with over 300 yards receiving on the season, no one guy stands out. And they're only team in FBS that can say that. And I thought this was a typo, actually, when I saw that 17 different players have scored an offensive touchdown for them. But no, that's accurate.
Great play by Ezraku, and the ball comes loose. Boston College gets the turnover, the first of the day. Donovan Ezraku on the edge, forced a fumble. And Neto Akpala recovered it for BC.
Wow, Donovan Ezraku came into this season as a preseason All-ACC player. Hasn't gotten to the quarterback as many times this season, but this one, he did it well when it counted. He got in there, didn't miss the layup, stripped the ball up, BC ball. When we come back to Fenway.
Gets me excited. Let's start a riot. We could start a riot.
In the Wasabi Fenway Bowl after the turnover, Boston College takes over. Time to look at our performance update prepared by TaxAct. Tommy Castellano took over early in the year, Mark, for who we thought was going to be the starter this season, a quarterback for Boston College, Emmett Moorhead, and Castellano never looked back.
No, he didn't, and he really showed this coaching staff what he could do with his legs, and that was the big difference between Emmett Moorhead and Thomas Castellanos. He didn't just come in as this guy who, hey, we're doing similar and we play similar styles. It's a completely different offense, and so it took a while for this offensive coaching staff to shape the offense around this running nature that Castellanos has. In the last half of the season, they were able to do that.
Kai Robichaux, nowhere to run as he bangs into the middle of that SMU defense. This SMU defense, too, Mark, you think about it, 18th in the country in rushing defense, 11th in total defense, 12th in scoring defense, and their 51 sacks, second most in school history.
Yeah, well, first of all, that's crazy. And it's awesome. But I think it also goes to show where their focus was in this past offseason. Where do we need to go to get guys? And really, it was in the secondary to help and the linebacker position to get guys who can bring ball carriers to the ground less missed tackles this year and way better production.
Castellanos hits Bond, who's able to make the catch and fall forward just shy of the first down, despite what Lewis Bond was indicating there. Bond is his #1 receiver, 48 catches for over 800 yards on the year coming in.
Yeah, he's another guy that was not in the starting lineup to start the season. He was a guy who was a 4th or 5th wide receiver in, kind of a utility guy, and quickly became Thomas Castellanos' favorite pass catcher, and he runs really good routes out of the slot.
3rd down and 1. Castellanos is going to try and get it himself. And he's going to make it. It's Boston College offensive line. We were talking about the SMU offensive line. BC's line has been together and healthy for the most part all year. Now they're going to be without Christian Mahogany, who practiced the first week of bowl preparation, then decided to get ready for the NFL.
Yeah, and he has a lot to train for, and potential 1st-round pick from that right guard position, and he's here with the team today, and with them in spirit, but he will not risk injury in this game.
Fresh set of downs for Castellanos. Pressure on the edge. He sees it and runs right up the middle. Big gain for Castellanos inside the 30, down to the 26. Jonathan McGill finally tracked him down, but not before you see Castellanos and his ability in the open field.
Yeah, well, Jonathan McGill, #2, is in a tough spot. Being one-on-one with Castellanos like that, good tackle to get him down.
Now Castellanos has absolutely nowhere to run, and he might even lose a half a yard on that carry. I'm watching this Military Bowl last night in Annapolis, Maryland, and I'm looking at that weather and thinking that's moving right up the Atlantic seaboard, and it's going to be over us tomorrow, and sure enough it is. And Kyron Drones for Virginia Tech ran like crazy in that game last night, and I was thinking these two quarterbacks are probably going to be doing a lot of the same thing during our game here at Fenway.
Yeah, well, so far that obviously has been the case, and as the ground gets wetter and more sopping and having the standing water, there will be more opportunity to break some tackles and to get the ball on the ground.
Robichaux again for nothing, though, as big Jordan Miller in the middle of that defensive front makes the stop at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Jordan Miller, he's another one of the guys who transferred in from Miami. Really good player in that nose guard position, and he's been a guy that, again, if you do not have a solid nose guard that can eat 2 blocks in this type of defense, you're in trouble. He has been that guy for them all year.
So 3rd and long. Castellanos has a receiver, can't quite hook up with Jaden Skeet. Charles Woods, all-conference cornerback, on the stop for SMU.
Yeah, good delivery by Castellanos, and you see how the rain is affecting it. That ball hits him in the hands, and you see the gloves that these players are wearing. These are not rain gloves, and if you go to the NFL players, they're going to have leather on the gloves. I don't know. A lot of guys decide to just take the gloves off, but that kind of slickness of the glove combined with the water could lead to more drops.
45-yard attempt from Liam Connor. He's got the distance, and he's got it. Weather conditions not affecting Connor as he connects from 45 yards out and gives BC the early 3-0 lead here at Fenway.
SMU will join the ACC next year, and
BC's going to Dallas to play SMU next year on the schedule. That's going to be interesting.
It's just fun, just to be able to expand the ACC to Texas, right? Now you got Florida, you got Texas, you got California. I mean, that's where all the best football is played. Love to say it's all Northeast, right? But no, you get some really talented football, a lot of competition. It's going to be good for the league.
Daniels drops the kick. Now he picks it up, but he can make something happen. Gets a block on the outside. Oh, we may get a late hit there. We do have a flag that came in before the hit, though. As Daniels was able to pick it up and make more than something out of nothing. Got out of bounds at about the 32, and he comes up limping just a little bit.
And it looks like the flag was being delivered before that.
Yeah,
that's a little extra shot.
Hutchinson looks like,
I'm fine, honestly, with either call on that. He needs a little extra.
Quintavious Hutchins with just a little, how's your father, right on the white.
During the return, personal foul, face mask, receiving team, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Wow, that's a big call the other way.
Yeah.
15 yards going left, not right. SMU coaching staff wants a better explanation. He doesn't know where it is.
Correction, the enforcement spot will be half the distance. First down.
So it'll be half the distance. They'll mark it at the 14.
Yep. Well, fumbled on the first drive of the AAC championship game against Tulane, and they were able to bounce back. Fumbled on the first drive of this game.
BC's defense stiffening there on first down. Johnson able to pick up just 1 yard. Jennings rolls the pocket, tries to quickly get it out to Bailey, and the throw was behind him.
They brought their big people in. Stone Eby, their big fullback, number 44, was in the game. A little play action try, brings up third down and long. And we have seen drops from Boston College. We've seen errant throws so far as SMU lines up in an empty set. Look for them to motion Tyler Levine back in the box.
Can't miss Tyler Levine, 31 with the neck roll. There he is. He's going to stay in and block and pick up pressure. Jennings has a receiver open, hits it, oh, he dropped it. Moochie Dixon had it near midfield and he couldn't hang on. Amari Jackson in coverage for BC, and the Eagles force a 3 and out.
And again, it's just, you think about the weather, but really good route. Perfectly thrown football and just unable to bring it in. Missed opportunity for SMU, but really good throw by Kevin Jennings.
Ryan Buchevsky is going to punt it away for SMU. Pressure up the middle, and he does get it off. So low
tipped
punt that's going to bounce around. Could have gotten a hand on it. Certainly came off his foot that way. And BC is going to have excellent field position to start this second offensive drive of the game for the Eagles. Already up 3-0 here at Fenway. Indoors. Which would be kind of nice today. Although it's not that bad, I got to admit. We got an overhang here where we're dry. Sherry's probably yelling and screaming at me for saying as much because she's down on the field where it's raining heavily. It's windy. Here goes Robichaux. He has not had a whole lot of success in his 3 or 4 carries today, Mark, in the middle of that SMU defense. They've shut it down. Yeah,
and it's been really good linebacker play. And that time Ahmad Walker on the tackle filled over, and Ahmad Walker, watch number 34, good job of flowing over the top and then just filling the hole. Ahmad Walker played 4 years of football against Thomas Castellanos in high school. And those two know each other very well. And jokingly, we were talking to Rhett Lashley, and Rhett Lashley said that he ran into Walker's dad and said, hey, Ahmad couldn't tackle Castellanos in high school. Let's see if he does any better tomorrow.
And look at Castellanos, he's electric. Picks up the first down.
And he's a tough guy to tackle. And then, the thing about his running style, right? There's a lot of mobile quarterbacks, but he is very fast. Like he moves in short area well, but then once he opens up, it's very difficult to catch him, and he showed it there on that play. Yeah, Nate Johnson streaking wide open down the middle of the field, elected to carry it himself, and it was a smart decision as he picked up the first down here. Not so much. Alex Kilgore makes sure he only gets a yard. He's got an interesting face paint scheme on as well today. It's very cool. As someone who dabbled in face paint myself, I think that is a pretty cool warrior type look. Streaks down his face. I feel like yours was more like just paint the whole face. Yeah, well, I mean, it was pretty much just like. Yep. Let's just get crazy. Just your brand of artistry. Just wanted to scare people. Just slathered on my entire face. Yep. Castellanos fakes. Now rolls, has a receiver open, but can't hit him as he throws behind. Skeet again. And for both of these quarterbacks, it's going to take a little time, honestly, for them to understand what they can do today and what they can't do today, right? That's what you just have to figure out. It's great. Hey, look, actually, I didn't think my footing was going to be this bad. Oh, I didn't think the ball was going to come out of my hand like that. So, you know, as these quarterbacks learn, and they need to evolve as this game goes on, that, hey, I can't make a scramble play and just flick it out with my wrist. I have to have my drop and a full arm action to get the ball out there.
3rd and 9 for the Eagles. Alex Broom in the backfield now, flanking Castellanos.
Oh, and they're going to need to get set because there's 2 men in motion.
There's the flag.
Jeff Hafley ran out to almost midfield.
Timeout.
Yeah, they'll give him the timeout.
Boston College, their first of the half. 30-second timeout.
3:49 left to go in this first quarter here at Fenway Park. It's a unique setup for football. There you see Mark and I. Mark's on his tippy toes right now. We're typically about the same height. Both teams using the same sideline as well. It's kind of like you're familiar with lacrosse, Mark. It's kind of like that. You don't have a substitution box on the far side, but the coach just said it's always interesting when you play a game on a baseball field like that and you're both on the same sideline, because substitution-wise, you know, if you're on the wrong side of the field, the wrong half of the field, you got a big 300-pound defensive lineman trying to sub in. He's got to run a long way to get to the line of scrimmage.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jeff Hafley was very concerned about that exact thing, and you saw him. He said, hey, I don't care about any sidelines or boundaries. I'm running out to the middle of the field to call timeout because that's what I need to do when I'm on the same sideline. And I tell you what, I mean, Jeff Hafley, you know, we know him well. He thinks a lot. He thought a lot about the situation of the field this week.
So after the timeout, let's see if Boston College can convert, and we're going to get another whistle.
Clock operator, please reset the game clock to 3:43.
Putting another 5 seconds on the game clock.
3:49, correction, 3:49.
Check it, 3:49. We'll get it figured out.
Thank you.
And again, coming out of the timeout, let's see what Boston College and Jeff Hafley and Steve Shimko were able to draw up. Castellanos is going to run it. He's got room on the right side and a blocker in front of him. He's going to be just a little bit shy. He's going to come up about 2 yards shy. Ahmad Walker and company making the stop. So decision-making time here for Jeff Hafley.
You know, hardly a decision for Jeff Hafley. They go for it 6th most in the entire country, and 75% of the time they go for it on 4th down, it is a run, and they, you know, have been phenomenal in picking up those first downs on 4th down with 76% conversion rate. So they're bringing in their big boys, 2 extra offensive linemen and a fullback.
2 big wholesale changes rather for SMU on the play, and it's blown dead before we even get started.
And that's what could get him out of it if it's a false start. But I still do think with the weather conditions of 4th and 6, getting that with the wind swirling around, you might opt to stay away from kicking a field goal.
Had Connor hit a 45-yarder earlier in the game, this would be, with the 5 yards, would be just about that if it is indeed against Boston College.
Chris, the wind has picked up, though, significantly, I think, since that first one. I mean, just feeling it here in the booth.
False start. Offense number 53. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Call goes against Dwayne Alec.
And now it does look like they're going to bring the kicking unit on.
And Coach Hafley, if you can read lips, I'll let you do that at home.
Yeah, and Dwayne Alec, you know, he's in there for Christian Mahogany, who we mentioned is not playing in this game. Dwayne Alec started a bunch of games last year, 11 games actually, with all the injuries to the offensive line.
So Connor matched a season high with a 45-yard field goal in the first quarter. He's going to attempt to match it once more. Does he have the distance? He does, but he misses it to the right. Just missed it to the right, so Connor 1 for 2 on the day, and that SMU defense holds.
Yeah, and hey, Yeah, you just know, right? Anytime you get a leather football and you got to hold on to it, you got to kick it, the weather becomes a factor. And we've seen the drops, we've seen the slips, and, just the mishandling of a football, it's hard and it's difficult to kick in the rain. And football, at the end of the day, it's a hard game. And the elements are making it a little bit harder today, but if you embrace them, you can have some fun with it too.
It's a 5-yard penalty. May or may not have cost Boston College. The field goal goes wide. Now SMU back with the football, scrimmaging from their own 26. Jennings rolls the pocket again. Throw is low, but it's picked up there by Brinson. Gains about 4 yards on first down. Just a good look at Romello Brinson. You mentioned one of many transfers from Miami when last he was the OC there for a couple of years. Jennings gives the night another transfer from Miami, and Rooster is upended after a 3-yard pickup by KP Price. True freshman out of Baltimore getting some playing time today in this Boston College secondary.
Yeah, secondary a little bit banged up, and Cole Batson not going, and Elijah Jones out for the game as well.
Jennings quickly on third down. Beautiful play defensively.
That's Max Tucker, and you talk about guys getting opportunities. Max Tucker, the true freshman out of Hyde Park, Massachusetts, makes a really, really solid play.
Yeah, Coach Hafley was excited about him getting some more reps during bowl prep and during this game. They love his future here. I think it's bright. So BC's defense comes in, forces a punt from Buchevsky.
And a good response, right? 3 and out, and really, SMU after that first drive has not found anything offensively. A couple 3 and outs.
Another flag or whistle. The flag all the way back here with Lewis Bond.
Delay a game. Kicking team. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Buchevsky and company will move back 5 yards and give it another shot.
Here's Brett Lashley. Done just such a phenomenal job with this SMU team, and the way he brought in this pass first offense, the points that they've scored.
Wow, more flags.
False start. Kicking team, number 48. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Those yellow flags are going to be muddy brown by the end of this game if they keep throwing them on this turf, man.
They will be. And just to cap that off, he brings in the offensive mind, obviously, but then.
Clock operator, please reset the game clock to 2:03.
Yeah, the real improvement over this past year, we mentioned, has been the defense, and Scott Simons, the defensive coordinator, had just transformed them. And statistically, they were one of the worst defenses in all of college football last year. I mean, they were 121st in scoring. They were 115th in total yards. And this year, they have completely turned it around and been phenomenal.
Bond tries to come up and make the catch, and he's fortunate that it goes out of bounds, and it'll stay with BC. Great football lineup coming your way this weekend. Saturday, Georgia squares off against Florida State in the Capital One Orange Bowl. And then Saturday night, the Lions take on the Cowboys. New Year's Day playoff semifinals begin at 5 Eastern. They got Michigan and Alabama, followed by Washington and Texas. Both games on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Plus as well.
So what, the Orange Bowl has something like 40 players not playing in that game?
It's crazy.
I mean,
and the last I heard, Brock Bowers is still playing in it. I haven't heard that he isn't, unless I missed something. So he's one that is going to play. Georgia fans excited about that. Castellanos to throw. Wobbler over the middle, tried to hit his running back, Broom, out of the backfield. You could see he's a little frustrated with the fact that he points to himself like, I just haven't been able to get a good zip on the ball coming out of his hand.
Yeah, just don't need to harp on it all the time, but it's hard to throw the football when it's wet, and I think I'm actually surprised I've seen this much throwing actually in the game so far. I mean,
Both teams, yeah.
It's a mess out here, and on top of the goalpost, these flags are swirling around. So not only is it hard to grip it, but it's hard not to get the ball knocked down by the wind.
2nd down and 10. Low snap handled by Castellanos. SMU brings pressure. And that pass sails over the head of his intended receiver,
and
Nate Johnson.
To me, it's a waste of a play. I mean, you're not going to complete that pass, like, unless the defender falls down. It's not happening. So let's switch up what we're doing, and on 1st down and 2nd down and 3rd down, let's run the football. I mean, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's where it gets to. Obviously not here on 3rd down and 10, but that's, I wouldn't be surprised if we get away from more of these spread offenses and get more big boys in the game.
Screen pass to Broom. He's met immediately and fumbles the football. Picked up initially by BC.
Oh my gosh.
And Bond just got hammered.
Oh man.
Cale Sanders was the one who initially knocked the ball out from Alex Broom.
Yeah, and watch, bam, and then watch right here, bam. This SMU defense.
That was Ahmad Walker who came in and cleaned it up.
But look at this initial play. Great read. Huge tackle, right? Ball comes out, bam. Heads up play by Lewis Bond to get on top of that. But I mean, that was the most physical play we've seen today from either team.
So SMU forces the 3 and out. Jake Bailey to return this punt. And he's just going to let it die right at the 22. Take a look back at SMU's year with our season in review. It's brought to you by Wasabi. Started the year 2-2 without a conference loss at Oklahoma and at TCU. But then, Mark, that's when they really started to find their stride once they started American play. They won 8 games in a row, 9 if you include the championship game against Tulane. They lost Preston Stone, their sophomore quarterback, second to the last game of the year, the last game of the regular season against Navy. Then, as you see, they went on to beat Tulane down at Ullman in New Orleans to get the championship. And here we sit with them ranked number 24 in the last championship poll. Bailey on the carry. Gets the 1st down. Was able to scoot just past a couple of defenders. And he picks up just enough to move the chains.
Yeah, and okay, you're not going to be able to pass it. Let's get the ball in the perimeter somehow. Let's get reverses. Let's get guys out blocking. Good block by the tight end, R.J. Maryland, out in front. And that's how you're going to have to do it. You have to pick up chunk plays on the perimeter through running the football.
Knighton lowers his shoulder but isn't able to get through defenders, as initially he was met by Shione Hala. And then Amari Jackson had a free shot.
Yep. Shione Hala, they call him Riz on campus.
3-0 on the clock here at Fenway. We've come to the end of the 1st quarter. We'll hear from Jeff Hafley when we come back. His team leads by 3.
You guys able to get those 3 points off a fumble? How are you able to take advantage of the opportunities the weather is providing?
You got to be able to run the ball. You got to be able to stop the run. It's kind of wet and slippery here. Quarterback's going to have to do a lot with his feet. I don't know if it's going to slow down, so we got to run. We got to stop the run.
All right, thank you, Coach.
All right, thanks.
All right, thank you, Sherry and Coach. BC's been able to run the ball 43 yards. SMU held to just 23 on the ground, as neither team has really been able to get much going offensively.
I can't.
Picks up about 4. It'll bring a 3rd down and 4. Big fullback Tyler Levine's in. He's got the neck roll. He's got the half shirt. Always been one of our favorites. And he's going to be the lead blocker for Jennings. And he gives him a big hole to run through. And it'll be a 1st down for the Mustangs.
And yeah, this is now the new game plan. All right, let's bring a big fullback in as our running back. Really good job on, just a puller and lead fullback on the dive. Little power scheme with the QB.
Clive Wilson down for Boston College. Looked like he was holding that left knee, and that's what the trainers are working on right now. We'll take a quick break, update you on Clive Wilson's condition when we come back. 3-zip, BC on top. Second time in his career at SMU, the freshman from Oak Cliff, Texas. Anytime you win a state championship in high school in Texas, you're doing some work.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's a guy that has been around the program, for a little while, and really, with Preston Stone, it came down to an in-camp battle of who was going to get the starting job, and Stone ended up coming away with it. But Kevin Jennings, very capable guy as well.
You think Preston Stone is a sophomore and Jennings a freshman as far as eligibility goes? Both young players and both outstanding talents at quarterback. Yet another flag on the field. This is a good look at Kevin Jennings.
Holding. Offense number 53. 10-yard penalty. First down.
And then, that's a problem, a good problem, right? That Derek King, the new quarterbacks coach for SMU, is going to have. Derek King obviously played football at Miami under Rhett Lashley and has been named the quarterbacks coach. So he has two guys going into next year that could potentially be starters. It's a good thing to have quarterback competition in camp.
Holding call moves SMU back. Now pressure off the corner. Gets it to Knighton. That's Knighton was having a hard time getting his footing under him. Look at the divot he picked up at about the 34-yard line. This is going to fall forward for a positive gain, but man.
Yeah, and this is a game of leverage and defensive leverage. And, Boston College has been the ones that, really haven't let up any big plays. And that's led to a scoreless first quarter by SMU. And you saw the note at the bottom. They are first in all FBS in first quarter scoring, and they've been held scoreless for the first time all year.
Jennings to throw over the middle, right through his receiver's hands. That's R.J. Merrill, usually sure-handed tight end. Just the weather wreaking havoc on both these teams' passing games.
Yep, and it's just right there. R.J. Maryland, really good player. He was kind of the spark in the championship game where Kevin Jennings early in that first quarter kept going to Maryland over and over and over again, and he was his security blanket.
Jennings steps up. As Bailey right at the yard to gain. I think he got the first down. Max Tucker brought him down, but Bailey lowered his shoulder and was able to pick up enough.
Yeah, and Bailey banged up a little bit, but just a good job buying time. Ezeraku, number 6, slips on the outside, and Kevin Jennings just steps up and finds his deep crosser and just gets enough for the first down. And you see the delicate touch that Jennings had to put on that football just to put it out there.
Levine can't find a whole lot of room to run. Is able to pick up a couple, though, to surge from that offensive line. Apollo brings him back. There's a good look at Jake Bailey. He's had a good game so far when you think about running and catching the ball. He's one of the few players who's actually been able to squeeze the football today.
Yeah, you're right. And he's the leading receiver on the year. 36 catches for 474.
Max Tucker coming up slow on that play.
See the captain on his chest. And we talked to Rhett Lashley and Casey Woods just about that wide receiver room and the unselfish nature that they have. And they talked about Jake Bailey and really his leadership in it, as well as Rob Likens, the wide receiver coach. And look, no one has an ego in that room, and that's rare for a wide receiver room. So really good leadership by the senior Jake Bailey.
Push pass. Trying to get on the edge. That's Jordan Hudson.
It's so hard to be fast on a wet turf. I mean, this is a speed offense, and they want to hit everything with speed, and you just can't run fast out there right now. So that jet sweep where usually Jordan Hudson turns on the afterburners, just unable to get going.
Everything is developing in slow motion out there.
It really is.
It looked like that play was going to go for a big gain. It just couldn't quite get there fast enough. BC brings pressure. Jennings has one-on-one down the sideline and can't hook up with Hudson.
Oh, and we're in the area of muddy jerseys. Let's see. I mean, you see the moisture. The mud's not going to show up so well in the BC jerseys, but some of these white Mustang jerseys, they're going to get wet. You just look around the numbers, kind of near where this ball is. You see that standing water? That's kind of right on that first base line, right near where first base is, and all that dirt has to be sodded over, and that's where you're going to get a lot of the slipping and the standing water on the field. It's also where you go after you score a touchdown and do a nice mudslide.
Like the Snow Angels and Mud Angels.
Exactly.
Jennings loses the snap, but he's able to track it down, and he throws and finds a receiver open for the first down. That's Bailey again. A heady play by Jennings. Initially dropping the ball, but picking it up and then finding an open receiver.
And, you know, just good delivery. Just puts it out there. And, you know, one thing that Kevin Jennings is doing by moving the pocket is he's giving himself easy throws. I mean, that throw right there, it was on target, but it was an easy catchable throw to Jake Bailey for another first down. Ooh.
A tough exchange. They're able to make it work as Vinny De Palma comes up and drops L.J. Johnson, but boy.
Yeah, and Curry Johnson, they're glad to have him back at the nickel position. He comes up and makes it, but you see there, I mean, these zone reads, they're, every now and then you get a weird exchange, especially with the quarterback you haven't done it with all the time, but the wet weather makes it even more difficult.
There you see the substitutions for Boston College coming in from the far side. And this is going to take some time off that play clock. You see another one here as Johnson comes off.
Yeah, and part of it too, again, once the offense subs at all, the defense has as much time as they need to sub, so Jeff Halpy's going to milk that.
Jennings has a lot of time here and finds a tight end, Adam Moore, the freshman, making just his 5th catch of the year, but that'll move the sticks into the red zone.
Yeah, Adam Moore, he was a guy, he was a highly recruited guy out of Miami.
Powerhouse Northwestern, Miami Northwestern High School.
Yep.
Jennings finding his sea legs a little bit here on this drive, throwing the football. Hand it to Johnson. He's got room on the right side. Inside the 5, down to the goal line. They'll mark him right outside the goal line. It'll be 1st and goal from the 1.
And the right side of the offensive line for SMU. Watch this push they get. Poor fit by number 35, John Pupil. Just overruns the football, and a great shove by the right guard, right tackle.
Staying with Johnson, and he powers his way in. Well, for the first time today, Mark, a methodical drive by this potent SMU offense, mixing the short passes with power runs like that from L.J. Johnson.
I mean, how about, right, Kevin Jennings? Again, difficult to throw the football, difficult to get handoffs going. When this drive needed it, he converted on 3rd down and long with his arm. He delivered another ball to Jake Bailey for another first down. And then when they get down to the red zone, they're able to pound it in. Just really good individual effort by Kevin Jennings on that drive to make things work.
Colin Rogers in for the try for the Mustangs. And it's good. Even the field goal camera at the stadium is cool.
Yeah. It's all cool.
You saw the drive over 6.5 minutes off the clock. 15 plays finished off by L.J. Johnson. SMU with their first lead of the day.
Yeah, they really feel like they should be in the New Year's Six Bowl, and their only 2 losses were to Oklahoma and TCU, and they feel like playing some of those Power 5 conferences should mean something.
Bond gets it out to about the 22. Time for a clutch delivery. It's brought to you by Chipotle. That last drive for SMU, a lot of quick passes. Bailey himself had 3 first down grabs on this drive alone.
Yeah, and just getting the ball out easily, right? Not the tough catches, the long downfield ones that are a wide receiver is going to be facing the quarterback and be able to get two hands on it and then run the football.
15 plays. That was their longest drive in terms of plays, number of plays on the season for SMU.
Well, they usually go much faster and score much quicker. But they score. They figure out a way to do it. Doesn't matter how long it takes.
First touchdown of this game for either side. Now let's see what BC can do as an answer. Broom tries to bounce it outside. A stiff arm. Was only able to pick up maybe a yard. Brandon Crossley, reserve linebacker, on the tackle for SMU. Yeah,
I would love that play call. Just get everybody over to the short side of the field and try to beat the defense with speed to the wide side. But we talked about just how difficult it is to utilize the speed and to out leverage the defense when it is so slippery. I think SMU showed that, hey, when they're going to run the ball, let's go downhill. Let's get our big guys in the game and go downhill. Boston College, they've been running a lot of east and west.
I feel like they've had too much trouble in the middle. Maybe you just have to keep pounding the middle to trying for success. Here's Castellanos trying to bounce it outside, and Chloe Wilson stops him, and he may have picked up a yard at most.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be difficult to move the football against this SMU defense regardless. And, I just think that, when you have this many issues with the weather, you want to go the shortest distance down the field possible, and that's straight ahead, because you could dance around and get 2 yards on the outside, but, cutting a crease up the middle, probably better likelihood.
SMU brings pressure. Castellanos is going to try and beat up the middle, and he does. First down and a whole lot more. He's near midfield. Finally brought down at the 44 by Charles Woods.
Well, there's the crease, right? And this is a design QB run. You see the running back goes right up the middle. Good play call. Again, now we're running forward downhill, and see if that can provide a spark for Castellanos to get going.
Now he gets outside and picks up another 5 or 6. Ahmad Walker on the tackle. Castellanos has gone over 1,000 yards rushing now on the season.
Well, there you go. Ahmad Walker showed his dad, hey, I can tackle Castellanos in college. But you see even there, right? Ahmad Walker is nowhere near as fast as Thomas Castellanos, right? But there's a neutralization factor that this field's presenting.
Now inside SMU territory as we get a whistle. They have a clock issue here. Sherry, what's going on down on the field?
I asked defensive coordinator for SMU, Scott Simons, what's the challenge in stopping Boston College quarterback Thomas Castellanos? His eyes got real big, guys, and he said he is really, really fast. We just saw that. He said they haven't played a lot of running quarterbacks like Castellanos, but he's the best short area quickness and log speed combo, and he said he's just one missed tackle away from breaking off.
Yeah, thanks, Sherry.
Selling out against the run. This is the time to take a shot.
Pressure comes. Castellanos had it as he avoided. Down at the 41, it'll be a first down.
Oh.
I don't know how he avoided the sack on that play.
Yeah, and they wanted to take the shot. SMU started playing run and loaded the box, played zero coverage, and watch. I mean, they're trying to take the shot to the slot player. Just really good pressure, and that's been what SMU has done all season. Be able to get pressure with their front four, and they leave their corners on the island. Castellanos just made the most of nothing with his legs.
Pitch to Robichaux. He's going to throw back to Castellanos. He's got a blocker in front of him. Inside the 30, down to the 27.
I like that play call. That's fun, right? If you're going to go out here and look, they're going to play the run. Let's hand it to Robichaux. A nice, easy pass, right? Something's up. Robichaux's got no gloves on. That rarely happens. Castellanos starts getting moving.
That big old Logan Taylor, one of the Canadians in front of him. This left side of this Boston College offensive line, both Habs. Taylor's from Nova Scotia. This weather's like, this is like spring break to him. Robichaux sidesteps the defender inside the 20 down to the 15.
Robichaux's been their big back, right? He's been the guy to get the dirty yards this year, and they missed him with injury for a few games, but he's back and healthy. Gives a big stiff arm to Ahmad Walker. Good run by Robichaux.
That's his best run of the day. He's the type of back, we've seen him a few times this year, Mark. He gets better as the game wears on. You know, he wears on you as a defense. Johnson gonna get the carry. Lowers his shoulder, gets out at the 10. Nate Johnson getting a lot of playing time today. This is exactly what these bowls are. Every single time we see a bowl game, there's 3 or 4 players that you really haven't seen throughout the whole year that are getting run.
Yep, and Nate Johnson was a guy who did, what he did during the year was take a lot of jet sweeps, right? He was that guy who, hey, he's a speed guy, he's a true freshman. Let's see what his 5'8", 170-pound frame can do with the ball in his hands. And when this turns into a running game, you could see more of him in the backfield on the quick tosses.
Picked up 6 on that play. Castellanos looking to throw. Gets it out to Bond. Can't make the defender miss, although he's close to that first down.
Jahari Rogers does a phenomenal job of just tracking down Lewis Bond. Good job of getting his eyes to the football and getting him down before the first down marker.
Give to Robichaux. First down and more to the goal line. Touchdown.
Well, great answer and really good job blocking by the offensive line. Kyle Hergel, Drew Kendall, and Logan Taylor on this left side. Watch between number 60 and number 66. Just a really good hole, and Robichaux squeezes in there for a touchdown. And what an answer to the long drive by SMU for BC coming back and getting a touchdown of their own.
8th rushing touchdown on the year for Robichaux. Connor with the PAT, and he squeezes it in. So after a defensive, muddy slugfest in the first plus quarter here at Fenway, these two teams combine on touchdown drives. The latest from Robichaux, BC back on top.
I'm Matt Barry in our college football studios. Hope everyone's enjoying some Thursday day college football bowl action. Coming up at the halftime report, we're inching closer to the college football playoff semifinals. How big will Michigan's run game have to be against the Alabama defense? Plus, we've got another full slate of bowl games today. We've got Pop-Tarts, we've got an Alamo, we've got Sam Acho, you've got me coming up. How about all-day football on a Thursday, Connor? You got to love that.
I'm loving it. Mark and I and Sherry happy that we're kind of getting things started here at Fenway. Some morning kickoff, unusual. First of 4 on ESPN. Big return here by SMU. Daniels was on the return this time. Keyshawn Smith, I should say, rather than Roderick Daniels. And Smith brings it out close to midfield. 2 more bowls for you tomorrow afternoon. Number 22 Clemson squares off against Kentucky at noon in the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl. Then Memphis takes on Iowa State in the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. Both those games are, of course, on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and as always on ESPN Plus. Matt Barry in studio, big golfer. I'm sure he's got his eyes on what they're doing with the field here. For every break, they've got the grounds crew coming out there with the green sand that you have at golf courses. Fill in your divots. Please fill in your own divots, everybody. Well, the players don't fill in their own divots here on a football field. The grounds crew does it during every commercial break. Jalen Knighton on the pitch. That's actually going to be a pass. And Knighton picks up good yardage on first down. Gets into BC territory.
And you talk about passing, right? Kevin Jennings. Yeah, he's been pretty efficient through the air. We talked about the drops and the slippery ball, but right now 12 of 17, not a ton of yards, only 96 yards, but they have been effective enough, especially when they need to on third down in the passing game. to be putting together these long drives, and they might have to do it again here on 3rd down. This one a little bit more manageable than they had right around this same spot in the field a drive ago.
Horsley and Price on that last play, hard hitting in the middle of that defensive front, dropping the rooster. Knighton, 3rd down and 4. Jennings, design run, flag comes in. He's going to pick up the 1st down, but let's check the marker. Vinny DePalma made the tackle. He's been here since you were here, I think.
Yeah, Vinny DePalma.
Been at BC a long time.
Been a staple of this defense. This is his last game. Last game he can possibly play.
This is it. We're sure about that.
This is it.
Not going to get his PhD at BC.
It's been
Offside.
confirmed.
Defense number 35. Lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. 1st down.
John Pupil. Lined up offside. Jennings picked up about 5 yards, but they'll march it off on the penalty. 1st down either way for SMU. Levine back in the game along with Jennings in the backfield. Fake to Levine. Now he goes out in the pass pattern. Corrals it at the 43. Spin move by the big fella. That's the best 1.5-yard reception I think I've seen all year.
Well, there's 2 guys right there who are in their last game, right? Tyler Levine getting tackled by Vinny DePalma. And, you know, this spin move might have been more effective in a different situation, but it was worth
Anytime a dude in a half shirt and a neck roll gives you a spin move, I'm all for it.
It was worth a shot, but Vinny DePalma was all over it.
Now Levine with the chip. Didn't do much good, though. Jennings running for his life.
Oh, my
Still on his
gosh.
feet.
How did he get out of that?
And he passes
No
downfield.
way. Did he catch that?
He caught it.
What a play.
It's Adam Moore downfield. What a great play by Jennings to keep it alive.
There is no way Kevin Jennings should have got out of that and to turn it into a long pass. What a play.
Final minute of this 1st half. Levine powers his way for about 3 or 4.
I mean, look at this. Yeah, it's a great pass rush by Boston College. You lose a little contained, but oh, we got another guy, and then another guy, and another guy. But Kevin Jennings keeps his eyes downfield and is able to connect with his true freshman, Adam Moore. What a play by SMU. They're driving when we come back.
Or today on ESPN from Fenway.
Yeah, that's a lineup babysitters for that whole day, Chris. Just so I have uninterrupted time.
No, knowing you the way I do, you don't want uninterrupted time.
No, that's true. I do.
You want time with the kids.
I do want time with the kids, and now that they're starting to get to the age where I can teach them football, watch out.
Jennings with the throw to Levine. Just a little outside of his grasp, but still a heady play by Jennings to find him out there. It's either a completion or it's an incomplete pass with no loss of yardage.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, you do that on 2nd down, and it's no huge deal. You know, this is 3rd down now, and, you know, this is where Boston College's defense can really stand up, and SMU is spreading the BC defense out wide. And you know, the issue is, okay, if we do get quarterback run, then you get Levine as an extra blocker. Are you a man down on defense?
Eagles bring just 4. Pass complete for the 1st down. Jackson in coverage, but Jordan Hudson was able to squeeze it.
And again, it's a pass where your wide receiver is coming back to the football. I mean, I think that's so important where you get a guy's feet set and can see the football coming to them for the sure-handed catch.
Jennings still going through the air. He's got room to run up the middle if he decides to take it, and he does. Inside the 10, down to the 5. SMU still has 2 timeouts on the board, and they'll use 1 here.
I mean, how about this drive by Kevin Jennings? Hit that massive scramble, hit your guy, and then another completion leading to this. And now you get your team right in scoring position chance to put points on the board before half.
16 seconds on the clock. You can see Jennings. He's taken several hits today. Coaching staff just making sure he's all right, good to go. I would not have guessed that he would have 20 attempts at halftime in this game.
No. You know, and they keep on calling him because he's completing them, right? He's making good decisions. I think that's really, you know, what Rhett Lashley was impressed about with Kevin Jennings. You know, even in the AAC championship game where he did throw 2 interceptions, did have a fumble. It wasn't that he was making poor decisions with the football. It's just, you know, one throw just wasn't a technically good throw, right? And so if you have a guy who, will make mistakes, but makes good decisions, you're able to roll with him, and they're putting the ball in his hands a lot early in this game.
Jennings to throw, pressure on the edge, trying to get it to Hudson. Deflected away by Jackson.
Another thing to note for these, these defensive coaches is these officials are letting contact happen on the outside. I mean, these defensive backs are getting away with a decent amount. And so
Jackson had his arm wrapped around Hudson there.
So if you start to see that, and I've seen it 2 or 3 times in this game so far. And so, if I'm Scott Simons, I'm on the SMU sideline. I'm saying, hey, look, let's get our physicality in the pass game even greater when BC does decide to pass.
2nd down and goal. SMU still has that timeout on the board. Jennings under center. Rolls to his right, has a receiver. Knighton for the score.
Well, it's the old roll 2 boot. And it's a really good way of getting a running back to the flat with a matchup on a linebacker. That's what happened. Vinny DePalma, number 42, he's on Jalen Knighton. And when you roll to the side that the running back's going to the flat, it's just almost impossible to keep leverage as a linebacker. And without passing that off, Kevin Jennings finds his running back for another passing touchdown.
Jennings with the celebration, looking like Jim Rice out there on the field here at Fenway. PAT from Rogers. And with just 8 seconds left in this first half, SMU back on top.
Yeah, taking a look, right? And you see, you either have to pass that off defensively, and Kari Johnson, the nickel, has to pass it off with the inside linebacker. But if you don't, you got an opportunity, and despite the weather, Jalen Knighton brings it in. And this game, and especially this passing game, has been flying high for these SMU Mustangs.
I mean, Jennings has been impressive. 15 of 22, 122 yards and a touchdown passing. Give him an additional 25 yards on the ground, including a couple of key 3rd down conversions with his legs.
And, the rain is still there, but it is slowing down. I mean, it does seem like we're in a lull in the rain. So if it continues that way for the second half, it would be interesting to see if Boston College decides to attempt more passes. Only 7 so far in the first half.
Kick rolls through the back of the end zone for the touchback. Megacast returns for the college football playoff semifinals on New Year's Day. 10 additional ways to watch. Field Pass with the Pat McAfee Show headlines the Megacast coverage on ESPN2. Commentary from the sidelines throughout the game. Additional feeds include the Spanish language telecast on Deportes, Command Center, Skycast, Hometown Radio for all 4 teams, etc., etc. Look at that board right there.
There's so many cool things, right? Like, what do you want to watch what the marching band does the entire game? Because some people do,
yes.
Right? And actually, I kind of even want to tune into that for a brief second. I'll stay on the All-22 a lot as I want to analyze the game. But Pat McAfee, I love what he does. And it's going to be fun to see him on the sidelines, too.
Going to be fun to see the second half here from Fenway as both teams traded drives down the stretch. The last one by SMU. They have a 14-10 lead as we go to break here in Boston. Let's send you to Matt Berry and company in the studio just down the road in Bristol, guys.
Receivers in these short intermediate routes in the same way SMU has, because Boston College has been just completely one-dimensional, and that's been on the ground.
Lewis Bond and BC will return this second half kickoff, and Bond takes it beyond the 30 before he's dropped right there. Sherry Burris is down on the field. Sherry, what's going on?
Chris, SMU head coach Lafley told me he likes the way Kevin Jennings is able to extend plays, particularly on third down. He said he likes the way he settled into this game and is able to find his groove. On the other side, Boston College head coach Hafley said because Jennings is able to make these plays, he wants to see better tackling. He likes the effort from his team. Offensively, he still thinks they need to do a better job running the ball, but pleased with the effort. Now they're out here starting with the second half. They want a strong outing on this first drive, Chris.
Yes, Sherry, the rain has, for the most part, stopped, although the wind has picked up, so it'll be a different kind of a challenge altogether for these two offenses and quarterbacks in particular. Robichaux, he scored that touchdown for BC in the latter parts of that first half, so I'm sure the Eagles are hoping he can continue to go. Castellanos went over 1,000 yards on the season in that first half. He has 90 yards rushing. But you can see the passing clearly in favor of Kevin Jennings.
Yeah, and you know, Boston College did what was effective, right? They tried early to throw the football, and after the first drive, really just got away from it, which they probably should have done with the way the weather was. Now the rain has slowed down, so the pass could be more of a viable option.
One thing that hasn't slowed down.
Offense number 67. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
Are the flags.
That's true.
And a lot of those in the first half. And it continues here as Jack Conley filling in for Christian Mahogany at that right guard spot. Gets whistled. There you see the numbers. Now 9 penalties on the day combined for both of these teams. You do not want to get behind the chains on a day like today when you're forced to throw it. But when you got this guy right here, it's almost never too far. You know, it could be 3rd and 20, and you still feel like you got a shot with number 1 carrying the ball. But now it is going to be 3rd down, and I'll mark it off at about 5.
Yeah, and you know, really good job. It's just a QB power again, and you get the puller Kyle Hergel up there, and Castellanos just becomes a running back with the lead blocker. And formationally, you consistently see the defense try to be manipulated in this game. Right now with the bunch set, try to get an open receiver, hopefully man-to-man coverage.
You see everybody for SMU crowded on the line of scrimmage. Everybody within 8 yards. They'll bring 5. Castellanos has Broom. Nice play design and execution. Broom still on his feet into SMU territory down to the 43.
Well, what an effort by Alex Broom, and they swing him outside, and this is what the formation does. You see the pick. It's just a play designed to get the defense running into each other, and that's what happened. And good pickup by Broom.
Dino Tomlin inside the 40. Kobe Wilson on the tackle. First time they've gotten 13 in red involved today.
Yeah, Dino Tomlin has been, you know, another surprise from this wide receiver room for Boston College this year, and really has done a good job of making sure-handed catches when they've needed it. And with the loss of Joe Griffin and other wide receivers, he's stepped up for this team.
Yeah, Ryan O'Keefe as well, the transfer from UCF, injured much of the year. Castellanos rolls right, wants to go back to his left. Instead, he finds a receiver. That's Bond.
Well, there you go. That's, you know, very similar to the type of receptions that you saw coming from the other side of the ball, where let's get outside the pocket, let's make an easy direct throw, and does a good job of just buying extra time. And again, wide receiver coming back to the football, able to use his body to help catch that football and bring it in.
You see, Mark, with the rain dying down just a little bit, Castellanos much easier to the passing game, but he throws that right into the arms of a defender. Alex Kilgore, now he fumbles the ball, picked up by SMU. Isaiah Wokobia was able to pick up the fumble and keep the possession for SMU. Wild end of that drive to BC, and the end result is the turnover. Castellanos' first pick of the day. SMU ball when we come back. NFC champ NFC North champ Lions into Dallas to take on Dak Prescott and the Cowboys. 8 o'clock Eastern on ABC, ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Plus. That could very well be a playoff preview. Those two teams might meet again down the road. Should be an outstanding game, as we have here at the Fens.
And you see the takeaway differential when this team started rolling in those last 9 weeks.
Jennings, that's a fantastic pass, and it almost goes. Brinson wasn't able to squeeze it, but man, that was close to being a brilliant throw from Jennings. Right on the money.
Yeah, it was, and difficult catch. Brinson's running full speed, but that was close. So you got that.
Yeah, I don't even know if that foot looked like it was in bounds, but.
Yeah, not yet, obviously an incomplete pass, but it was close.
Anyway, Jennings continues to show his ability to throw the football in these conditions. That's the most sure-handed receiver he's had on the day. Jake Bailey continues to impress. Picks up another catch.
And BC has got to start being aware that, look, they're going to start opening up this offense. I mean, with the rain dying down, with the way they're able to throw the football, I mean, you're going to start to see what SMU has been able to do all year under this high-powered offense that Rhett Lashley deploys here at SMU.
Fresh set of legs with Kamar Wheaton now at tailback. Jennings to throw. BC brings just 4, so he has time. Trying to get to Brinson, but overshoots him.
And Amari Jackson again, very physical on the coverage.
Smart, isn't it?
It is.
You understand what the officials are letting you get away with, and as the game progresses, you use that to your advantage.
You do, and every officiating crew is a little different. Every day is a little different. But when I was with the New York Giants, Tom Coughlin, before every game, would have a layout and then just a chart of, okay, these officials called the most pass interference calls in the league, or the least pass interference calls in the league, and it dictated how not only they called the game, but also how the players needed to adapt and play during the actual contest itself.
Jennings going deep. Can't find Hudson as he was double covered. And a good defensive stop after the turnover for BC as they'll force SMU to punt it away.
You see the shots taken downfield, and this is kind of what we're talking about as De'Aaron King coaches up his young quarterback. Rhett Lashley is talking probably about that physicality. Another bump on that last play.
Buchevsky does get this one off, and it's off the side of his foot a little bit. BC has come really close to blocking a punt on several occasions today, but Buchevsky's been able to get him off. BC's ball when we come back here to Fenway. They have been out here for the last few days and dealing with really bad weather conditions all day long. Now, it was raining hard when we first got here this morning and when we kicked off. The rain has tailed off a little bit, but the wind has picked up.
Yes.
So that's something that everyone's going to have to deal with here in the second half. Robichaux has room in the middle. Into SMU territory, upended at the 47, and he's hopping because he knew if he could have avoided Brian Massey, he might have been able to take that one to the house.
Yeah, and watch 34 just overruns the play, and Robichaux sneaks in the little crease that Ahmad Walker overran. Good vision by Robichaux.
He's starting to get going a little bit here in the second half, and as we saw in that last drive, Castellanos, that last pass notwithstanding, the interception was on target a little bit more than he had been in the first half. Castellanos back to throw, has Robichaux. Has Hergel in front of him. He's able to pick up about 3 yards.
Yeah, and another thing, if this game turns more into a passing game, especially when BC has the ball, they really also have to be aware of the pressure that this SMU defense can get, right? They have 47 sacks on the year, which is second in all of FBS. And so if this becomes a drop back type of game, Boston College O-line has their work cut out for them with this defensive front of SMU.
Bond in motion, flags come flying from all kinds of directions.
false start. Offense number 79, 5-yard penalty, second down.
Kevin Klein, the guilty party. Yep, just a little flinch right there, the right tackle.
And Kevin Klein, again, they're rotating Dwayne Alec and Kevin Klein in at that right guard position today in the absence of Christian Mahogany, and both of them have had false starts. Just a changeup. New guy in there, not on the same page as everyone else.
Castellanos quickly to Broom. Defended beautifully by SMU.
Well, that's the second time Cale Sanders has read that play perfectly and made a play on the ball. And it was the same thing for both of them. Alex Broom out to the flat, and Cale Sanders, he said, look, I've seen this on film. He had that big hit in the first quarter, knocked the ball loose for a fumble, and then this one, really good day for Cale Sanders, the transfer from Fresno State, playing the nickelback position.
It'll bring up third down and long. 17 yards for Castellanos and company to convert. That's Tomlin in motion. He'll line up at the slot, bottom of your screen. Castellanos to throw. SMU brings pressure with just 4. Castellanos has to back out of there and hits a receiver downfield.
Oh, and that looked like it was a little bit early.
Jahari Rogers on coverage. Boston College fans here want the flag. I was looking for it. The officials.
Hey, they're not throwing flags for PI today. I mean, we've established that. And that was a really strongly thrown ball, and by Castellanos, you see, just
that's a tick early.
A little bit early, and Jahari Rogers gets to Lewis Bond, but hey, we've seen both sides of the ball be able to play physical at the defensive backfield and not get calls.
And Bailey just lets this one bounce. And it'll be tapped dead at the 12-yard line. We're just getting started with bowl games today. Next on ESPN, Rutgers takes on Miami in the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl, followed by number 18 NC State, number 25 Kansas State in the Pop-Tarts Bowl. We cap the day with 14th ranked Arizona taking on 12th ranked Oklahoma in the Valero Alamo Bowl.
So the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl, there was some players jawing around midfield before the game between Miami and Rutgers.
Yeah, Greg Schiano always recruited Florida very well, as he continues to do so at Rutgers. There'll be a lot of players from Florida in that game wanting to beat Miami as badly as you can imagine. Cam Arnold brings down Johnson. Just beyond the midway point of this third quarter, Johnson once again puts it up in there for a couple. It'll bring up third down and a long 2. Johnson busts through and picks up enough for the first down.
It just, they're keeping it on the ground, and it just, good job picking up yards where they can come.
Now scrimmaging from the sloppiest part of the field right there, where they put the turf down over the infield. Pressure comes. Jennings is going to tuck it and run and slide and picks up what he can. That'll be about 4.
A good rush off the edge, and that was Donovan Ezeraku who had the sack force fumble in the first quarter. He does a good job getting pressure, but you see what the mobility for Kevin Jennings provides. And you see SMU substitute, and that sends a siren off on the Boston College sidelines, like, let's substitute now, because you don't know with how fast SMU goes when you get another shot.
Moochie Dixon. Flag down as he picks up about 4 yards.
Personal foul, illegal blindside block, offense number 9. Half the distance to the goal, repeat second down.
Call goes against Keyshawn Smith, and Rhett Lashley can't believe it.
The wave off, showing his disgust in the call.
That's a big call, too.
See if we can see it.
That's upper right of your screen.
I don't know.
Guess that was it on KP Price.
Yeah, well, I mean that's what they called. I think.
Man,
he was pretty stationary.
Well, that moves SMU way back as the 15 yards are marched off. Second down and 20. Jennings, BC brings just 4 out of the backfield tonight and has a hard enough time getting his legs under him. Was able to pick up a handful of yards before Davian Crouch forced him out of bounds. But even a play like that, Mark, you could see that it takes a while to get your footing underneath you, and by that time the defense has arrived.
Yes, but it's hard for a running back running laterally like that to then get going forward. And again, we talked about where the first base kind of line was. That's right around where the shortstop stands.
Omaha.
And slippery. The footing there is out. It's tough. But now 3rd and long, and see if BC brings pressure. They haven't brought a lot of pressure at all, and they drop back again.
Jennings steps into it, has a receiver, has his man open for a first down, and Moochie Dixon is able to make the catch, and Price and Pupil drop him, but not before a really big gain on 3rd down.
I mean, really good job, and he had time. Offensive line protected well. Great delivery down the hash. The tight end, Adam Moore, cleared out the inside linebacker and left the open window for the inside go route.
Jennings to throw again. Again hits his receiver on the far side. That's Keyshawn Smith.
Yeah, they're hurrying up the pace now where, hey, let's throw. We're going to move the defense all around the field, and Boston College trying to substitute. Luckily to get their defensive line in and out.
Knighton into BC territory, down to the 47. Going quickly and picking up chunks of yardage. Jennings the fake tonight. Wants to go downfield. Is going downfield to Smith. Touchdown! No, he dropped it. Oh, he had it in his hands.
What a throw by Kevin Jennings. 50-yard bomb down the field on the money, and that one, Keyshawn Smith is going to be having nightmares about.
Coaching staff on the sideline too. What can you do? Just get back into the huddle.
Yeah, just
fight another down.
Go do another one just like that.
2nd and 10. Jennings to throw. BC again brings just 4. Outlet to Johnson. He'll pick up about 4 yards. It'll bring up 3rd and 6.
Good job by Carter Davis. True freshman cornerback coming up and making a tackle and bringing up 3rd down. And we've seen it over and over again, whether it's been the drop back passing game, which picked up their last 3rd down, or the scramble where you move the pocket for Kevin Jennings and allow him to hit crossers like Jake Bailey. Kind of see what they decide to do here. Now Jake Bailey in the slot at the top of your screen. Wouldn't be surprised if he crosses the field.
Dumps it off to Johnson. Has room to run. 1st down and more. There's a rock who tracked him down, but not before he got to the 32. They'll move the sticks once again.
Yeah, and big 6'5", 314-pound Justin Osborne, number 51, leading the way. Just what it means to have the presence of that body size out in front of you. He doesn't have to hit anyone.
Scary.
He's got to run around them.
8 for 12 on third down today is SMU.
That's so good. That is elite. And they've done it. I mean, they've done it all year. They've been so good on third down all year. Today's no different.
Knighton lowers his shoulder. Picks up good yardage on first down. Saw the drive and the clock ticking away. Taking up a big chunk of this third quarter. And the clock continues to draw down. Injured Eagle on the field. Can't quite get a number. It looks like that might be, it's number 4, Akpala. .203 left to go in this third quarter. We'll take a quick break. 14-10 SMU on. So that'll be interesting to watch. Yeah, as of now, subject to change.
Yep. As
is the case this time of year. But hopefully we'll be able to see him playing for the Buckeyes. This SMU drive continues. 2nd down and 6. Knight. Stop at the line of scrimmage. Maybe a loss on the play.
Yeah, it's a really good job by number 35, John Pupil, the strong safety, timing up the pressure off the right-hand side and reading the handoff, and just does a great job. It's a really good call by Sean Duggan and this defensive coaching staff for Boston College.
Knighton shaking up a little bit on the play. And he got something caught underneath the pile. As he works his way to the sideline. They'll bring in Levine. On 3rd and 6. Also 2 on that last play. BC does bring pressure, and they get to Jennings. He got it away in an incomplete pass, but Chris Banks finally got there. And you see Banks, he was one of the Boston College players who was chasing Jennings around on that brilliant scramble not too long ago.
Yeah, and this time they did bring pressure. They brought 6 guys on the pressure, and it was a really good job by Chris Banks looping. You know, he looped around, found the open space, and got a good hit on Kevin Jennings, and hard enough to not allow him to throw the ball downfield.
Colin Rogers in to try the field goal. He's got a big leg, hit a 52-yarder earlier this year. This one's from 45 as the wind whips around here inside of Fenway. Kick is blocked. KP Price got a piece of it, Mark. And that lights up that BC bench.
Well, it's been special teams, right? They got tipped to punt, and now blocking the field goal. Watch KP Price, number 20 on the right side. He just jumps between the wing and the tackle, and that is textbook on how to block a field goal. Jump over, get that front foot down, and launch. Big play by KP Price, the true freshman. A bunch of true freshman defensive backs have played well in this game. KP Price, Carter Davis, Max Tucker. We mentioned all their names already.
Tommy Castellanos and this BC offense back out there. Castellanos to throw. Now he tucks it. But SMU just got a piece of him to bring him down. Loss of a yard on the play.
Yeah, it was a design QB draw. And it just felt like it took a half a second too long to develop.
Clock winds inside a minute to play here in the third.
Really not much offense for Boston College in this second half.
Castellanos rolls to his right, wants to come back. Robichaux out beyond the 40. See, both these quarterbacks, Mark, roll one direction and throw back to the other side a few times today.
Yep, yeah, well, their legs are such a threat. They can move an entire defense with a few steps in one direction, and this time the defense all moved to the offense is right. They threw it back, and you see what happens when Kai Robichaux starts running downfield. I mean, he got contacted about 6 yards before where he ended up. And he picked up enough for that first down.
After 3 here at Fenway, SMU with a 14-10 lead as we head to the 4th. And when we come back, Sherry will catch up with SMU head coach Rhett Lashley.
You guys separate yourself. It's been a back and forth third quarter here. What's going to be the difference maker in the 4th?
Yeah, we've done a lot of things in the first 3 quarters to lose a football game. We've had 2 kicks blocked. We've dropped touchdowns. We've just been real sloppy. We're fortunate to have the lead, though, so we got to find a way to grind through it and finish.
And for the resiliency of this group, how will that pay off with all you've overcome so far?
We got a good football team. They're playing a great game, too. It's a heck of a football game. We'll play for a quarter and see who can win it.
Thank you, Coach. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
All right, let's start that quarter right here. Castellanos, Robichaux. Picks up 3 yards.
It's going to be a good test for really both teams. Boston College offensively, they've had games this year right in that 5-game win streak where Kai Robichaux and this offensive line took over games, and they were able to pound the footballs, especially in the 4th quarter. And on the other side of the ball, SMU has all year done a great job of stuffing the run, and their defensive line is their strong point of their defense.
Castellanos in a lot of trouble here. Goes out of bounds near the line of scrimmage. Kobe Wilson. Great speed to get into the backfield and force Castellanos wide.
And it's a SMU team that coming into this season, they were going to lose their 2 starting linebackers, and they brought in a couple guys through the transfer portal. Ahmad Walker from Liberty and Kobe Wilson from Temple, and both of them have been a huge part of the reason why this SMU defense is so much improved. And you saw that speed by Kobe Wilson on that last effort.
3rd down and 7. Mustangs bring just 4. Right at the 1st down marker. Jaden Skeet pick it up. Let's see where they mark him. I think he's going to get it. He did. 1st down, Boston College.
Yeah, Jaden Skeet, he's one of the bigger young wide receivers that they have at Boston College. 6'1", about 180. And they're excited to see how he can develop in that X position, that boundary receiver position, because if they can draw defenders to that X receiver and loosen up the middle of the field a little bit, it'll be beneficial. As right now, they have him split all the way wide and just one guy on a man-to-man.
Pressure on the edge. Castellanos going downfield. Overshoots his intended receiver, Bond. Fans here wanted a flag thrown on that play on Jahari Rogers in coverage. I think that was well over Bond's head, though.
I think it was, and it looked like Lewis Bond didn't really understand the situation. You see the safety blitz. Number 2 is coming off the edge. That signals man-to-man towards the top of the screen. So if you're that slot receiver, hey, I have the inside fade, the ball will be going to me. It didn't look like he ran the route with as much urgency as I would have expected, or Castellanos expected for that matter.
2nd down and 10. Castellanos again to throw. Skeet inside the 30, cuts it upfield. Down inside the 20, still on his feet inside the 15.
Well, Tommy Castellanos, he put some extra on that one, and he just fired that one in there. And Boston College is going to go fast after that big play, not letting SMU substitute.
Got to get Bond lined up, and he does. Design run for Castellanos, has all kinds of room to run, and he scores.
And what a play call, right? You get the long pass to Jaden Skeet, and he just fires it in there right between the corner and that linebacker, and then you go fast, you get to the line of scrimmage, not enough players for SMU on the right side of the screen. And Thomas Castellanos, I mean, that's a touchdown all day for him. He could have been 80 yards away, and he would have been in the end zone. What a drive by Boston College to start off this 4th quarter.
BC having trouble making sure everybody gets on the field for this PAT.
That'll drive a coach crazy.
Play clock under 5. Now they reset the play clock. and they get the PAT easily. Well, Tommy Castellanos, as he goes, so goes this Boston College offense. 110 yards on the ground, 90 through the air. Eagles back on top. College has just gone on top, 17-14.
It's a pretty sharp-looking trophy.
It's going to look good in somebody's trophy case. SMU on the return. They've gotten good returns all day long. Bring this one out to about the 35. And we'll take a look at that Castellanos touchdown on the last drive.
Yeah, 110 yards on the day, and had the long run up the middle in the first half. And this is just a really well-designed play, and took advantage of a safety blitzing. And again, we expected a lot of QB run when the weather was wet. It's drying up a little bit. But you see what he does, right? Yeah, you get the QB running the football. You get that extra blocker with the running back. And, the disadvantage is obviously you don't want to get your quarterback hit or injured. And that's less of a concern when this is the last game of the season for both teams. But it's still something to think about.
Freshman Kevin Jennings has been phenomenal at quarterback. Now he's going to have to lead his team from behind in the fourth quarter. Throws this one up. His receiver just cannot stay in bounds. That was Romello Brinson. That was the ultimate back shoulder throw. Brinson came back about 10 yards.
That was halfway between a back shoulder throw and a throw out of bounds throw. And those times, those are the ones where they lob up there and you're like, oh my gosh, that needs to be more out of bounds for an out of bounds throw. But that man right there, Rhett Lashley, has got to be pleased with what his quarterback's been able to do over the past couple weeks.
BC brings some pressure. It's picked up. Trying to get Bailey and overshoots him on the outside. Jalen Sheik in tight coverage for Boston College.
And just like that, it's third down, and it's going to be a lot on Kevin Jennings here as Boston College heated him up on the last third down with pressure. BC looks like they're going to be doing it again.
Got Tyler Levine in. He's in to pick up the pressure. Jennings now forced from the pocket. Still on his feet. Can he get to the first down? No. Banks got enough of him to prevent him from staying on his feet long enough to get the first down.
Yeah, and you think about possibly going for it, but Kevin Jennings is limping a little bit after he's getting up. And you see they brought both linebackers, and Chris Banks just barely gets a hand on the laces. And this is a team, again, we talked about Boston College likes to go for it on fourth down. SMU does as well.
The analytics say go for it in this situation. But we're going to get a timeout.
Analytics say 4th and 4 or less is a go.
There you see Preston Stone with the crutches and the white hat on. Sophomore who was a starter through the Navy game. There you see him just to the right of our picture, the right of Lashley behind him. Involved in the conversation. Officials discussing something here.
The previous play is under further review.
All right, that makes sense. They're probably going to clarify where the knee hits the ground, where the ball is.
Hence the timeout on the field. So neither team charged with a timeout. It's an official timeout to review the placement on this third down. See if we can get a look at what they're looking at. It looks like they marked it about right. Maybe even forward about a foot.
Yeah, it looks like it's
just about on that 48-yard line, right?
Yeah, 40. I think it's the other side of the 45. So probably
42.
42.
I'm sorry. Yep.
Nice quick replay.
After review, the ball will be placed on the 42-yard line. It's still fourth down.
So the play stands.
I'll move it back about a couple of feet. I don't think this will have any impact on what Rhett Lashley and Casey Woods draw up here. 4th down and 3.
I think the big thing is going to be make sure you contain the quarterback if it is any sort of play action play, right? If it's a direct run, your defensive ends aren't going to be involved, but make sure you contain the quarterback if he pulls it.
Jennings rolls to his right. Throws a pass over the middle. Incomplete.
That one was so early, too. But they're not calling it. I mean, they're not calling pass interference. You're going to get some sort. I think you're going to late penalty on the SMU sideline.
Pass was intended for Michael Hiltz.
I mean,
Coach Lashley wants his team off the field. Nothing good can come of that.
No, and the flag that's on the field was well after what would normally have been thrown in a pass interference situation.
The result of the play, the 4th down was not successful. It'll be 1st down Boston College. After the play was over, unsportsmanlike conduct, Boston College number 7. That's a 15-yard penalty. It'll be 1st down. That's number 7's first unsportsmanlike foul of the game.
Shione Hala guilty of the infraction. So BC ball, they'll move back 15 yards. But they're able to stone SMU on 4th down. Take another look.
And watch here. I mean, it's pretty. I mean, hey, they're letting them play back there. We're having a fun football game. BC ball.
Standing up for what you know it.
SMU 1 touchdown on the ground, 1 through the air. BC 2 of them on the ground, 1 from Robichaux and 1 from Castellanos. That one right there put them ahead. That's where they are right now, up by 3 points at the 11:07 mark here in this 4th quarter. There's John Pupil. Wry smile. Maybe he got there a tad early on that 4th down play. Maybe
really?
Not.
Maybe.
What's it to you?
That's a smile on the face of a guy who thinks he got away with something.
He might have, but either way, that's the way it goes. You've seen physical play on both sides in the secondary in this game, and on that particular play, it worked for Boston College. They have the ball. We're inside of 11 minutes left to play, and it's a BC team, Mark. They're 19th in the country in rushing per game, coming in at about 194 a game. SMU's rush defense, 18th in the country, giving up just 111 yards. Today, BC has 158 and counting. Both of these coaches thought the game would be won at the line of scrimmage, and it's going to work out that way here in the 4th quarter on a muddy track.
That's absolutely right, and it's really been a back and forth game. And we talk about we joke kind of about the pass interference stuff, but they've been in consistent calls, right? No team has gotten the advantage in the calls. Wow.
Robichaux.
Oh.
Inside the 15.
Guy Robichaux. If Thomas Castellanos is lightning, thunder is Kai Robichaux, and he just works his way through there, and you see that big body moving downfield.
Same play they scored on last time. Castellanos to the pylon, he dives in.
Well, thunder and lightning, there you are. Get the big bruiser rumbling his way downfield, and Thomas Castellanos, again, after a big play, what does Steve Shemko and this offense do? Come out with the quarterback run to the weak side. Twice after the big play, they've run this exact run, counting that Thomas Castellanos will beat the edge defender with speed, and he does it again.
Connor misses the PAT, and we'll keep an eye on that as the lead is now 9 at the 9:48 mark. But Castellanos' big day continues. He's got 122 on the ground, 2 touchdowns, including this leap into the end zone right here. Single season in Boston College history. And now the big question here is, SMU had a tough break on a call go against them. 3 plays later, they're down 2 scores. How do they respond? They'll get the ball at the 28 after the fair catch. So we'll see Kevin Jennings, the freshman quarterback.
Yeah, and Kevin Jennings has been successful through the air, but Thomas Castellanos, he's been on the ground. And it was 2 big plays, right? 2 drives that had a long pass to Jalen Skeet. Then Castellanos runs it in for a score. Then the long run by Kai Robichaux. They hurry up to the line of scrimmage and run a very similar outside zone play for Castellanos, who uses his speed again. And so, hats off to Steve Shimko and this offensive staff of being able to create big plays. It's hard to create a big play in this type of weather, and then hurrying to the line of scrimmage both times and capitalizing on the misalignment by SMU.
Bailey in motion. Jennings with 2 fakes. He's going to throw. Steps up into the pocket. Now he's going to run. Trying to utilize a blocker in front of him. Knighton gave him a little bit of a block. A push that got him out of bounds after a gain of 7. We've said it all game long. Even though this SMU offense is quieted down a bit in the second half, Mark, the poise that Jennings shows has been remarkable for a man making just his 2nd career start.
It'll be interesting to see if he keeps that poise as he has to throw the ball, right? He has to force some things at times when you're down by 2 scores at this point in the 4th quarter. You never want to press as a quarterback, but you're going to have to force some things. And we'll see if he can continue his good decision making through that.
Bailey's been his #1 customer all season long, and he continues today. Akpala misses. And Jennings just throws this one away.
Yeah, Netta Akpala, really good move off the line of scrimmage, just getting in the backfield. Jennings again is able to elude the pass rush.
Wholesale changes defensively for BC. Eagles bring just 4. Overshoots his intended receiver. Looked like he and his receiver were not on the same page. That was Carter Campbell. Campbell broke off the route.
Yeah, it's interesting too. Casey Woods, the offensive coordinator, and Brett Lashley, they decided on this drive they wanted to come out and throw the ball deep. And, first down, second down, third down, now an opportunity to get some yardage, but now you're forced to throw deep after the 2 incomplete passes on the first 2 downs. And this is an important down because with this point in the game.
BC brings pressure. Jennings steps up, but he's going to be dropped. Cam Arnold came from his linebacker spot and was able to get to the freshman quarterback, Kevin Jennings.
Yeah, Cam Arnold, see him on the left side of your screen, just a double linebacker pressure. Does a great job with that right arm of swiping down the big paw of Justin Osborne and bending around to the quarterback. And a huge play. And Boston College's defense stepping up and getting the first sack of the game on that big 3rd down.
Luchevsky gets off a good kick over Bond's head. Dies in the wet grass inside the 20. Boston College will take over on its own 17. We've got 2 New Year's 6 games for you on Saturday. Jackson, Darton, number 11 Ole Miss square off with number 10 Penn State in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl at noon Eastern. Then it's the Capital One Orange Bowl, number 6 Georgia, and number 5 Florida State. How about the job Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss are doing in the transfer portal? Oh, my word. I'd say right now they're the #1 team as far as if you want to put out some transfer portal rankings. We'll see how it all plays out. There's still a lot of decisions left to be made, and a lot of players tend to change their minds often. But so far, so good for Ole Miss. So far, so good for Boston College. Now they're going to try and do what they do best, and that's run the football and run clock. Broom cuts it back inside. Good run for Broom. He's going to pick up 7 on first down.
And this left side of the O-line, watch how they get separation. Just good job of getting up to the linebacker and good patience by Alex Broom. And that's what Boston College has been known for over the years, is really good offensive line play, really good running backs who can have good vision and get downhill. And last season was really a down year, and so many injuries depleted the offensive line. But what it did was provide a lot of good experience for these guys who are now starters, and their offensive line has been so much improved this year.
Bond on the quick pass to the outside picks up the first down.
And this is against, again, we mentioned SMU's defense, and they really hang their hat on their defensive line and linebackers being able to stop the run. And so far today, Boston College has had 219 yards on the ground and really been able to run anywhere they want. And so, I do think that there's a level of play increase as SMU is now going to be moving to the ACC. And what might have been good enough for the American and the schedule that they used to have, they're going to need to get bigger guys, some bigger guys, some more speed, and really help that defensive front out.
Sanjo on the stop on Robichaux. Boston College has more than doubled up the rushing yardage that SMU typically allows on average this season.
And credit to Jeff Hafley and this Boston College coaching staff too. Last year was hard. It was not a fun season for them. But they believed in the process, and they believed in the operation. They brought Matt Applebaum back, who was the offensive line coach a few years ago, then left to the NFL. And we all talk about things start up front in the trenches, and between Matt Applebaum, the offensive line coach, and Vince Ogobasi, the defensive line coach, Jeff Hafley feels like he has got the right guys coaching his big boys in the trenches.
Timeout. SMU, their first of the half. 30-second timeout.
So Rhett Lashley sees an opportunity here. Calls a timeout, his first, so he still has 2 left on the board, and at third down 2 scores. He needs his defense to get off the field right here.
Thank you.
And this is a defense that doesn't send a whole lot of pressure, not a big blitzing defense. They usually handle it with their front 4, and on 3rd down and 4, I doubt it's a drop back situation for Boston College anyways. I assume they'll get Castellanos either moving outside the pocket or give him some sort of zone read option, an RPO.
There's Castellanos. Coach Hafley said he cannot wait to see what he does with a full offseason as the man at Boston College.
Or just a full offseason. I mean, he got there in the summer.
Yeah.
I mean, he hasn't had any offseason at all.
He's going to take it himself, and it's going to get dropped. So SMU's defense does what they had to do. They'll get off the field on 4th down. Ahmad Walker comes in from his linebacker spot as he's slow to get up. His linebackers Walker and Wilson have been active today. Holding on to that right knee, lower right leg. We'll take a quick break. Update you on Walker's condition when we come back. Man, he must be miserable in that stadium.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with the weather. Just the sheer fact that they're Yankee fans and I'm here at Fenway today.
Just you have to be in Boston.
That I even have to be in Boston.
Man, that stinks.
And you know that it's the other way around as well. All the Boston fans are like, I was watching the game just because it was at Fenway.
Yeah, and all the Boston fans are like, oh, it's probably so crowded, and Manhattan can't drive anywhere. We have the more accessible city.
Who wants to be in the South Bronx when you can be in the Fens?
I do get to boast that I played college football in Boston and pro football in New York, and so I have an affinity for both.
And you and I called the game at Yankee Stadium and at Fenway in the same year. We called the Pitt game versus Syracuse at Yankee Stadium earlier this year.
We did.
Fun time in both stadiums. So we're looking forward to the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl coming up next. Boston College 449 away from winning the Wasabi Fenway Bowl. And just a reminder, our Capital One post game immediately following the game over on the ESPN app. So we'll hand it off to the folks at Yankee Stadium, and we'll stay here, hand out a trophy. Whoever ends up winning, that trophy will be in the trophy case of an ACC team next year, as SMU is coming over from the AAC to the ACC. These teams will play next year in Dallas, so we're looking forward to that. Right now, SMU's got a job to do. Jennings. Smith on the catch. Out of bounds after a minimal gain, give him 4.
And again,
nice pass.
Yeah, good, nice pass. And again, this is an SMU team that, straight off of a AAC conference championship.
Juan Williams banged up. 311-pound sophomore out of Baltimore.
SMU won the last 9 games of their season, and really wanted to.
Scoreboard operator, SMU has 2 timeouts remaining in the half.
They really wanted to head into this game and kind of show what they could do to an ACC opponent. Still got time, still got opportunity to drive down the field, put some more points on the board, but Boston College has really dominated this second half.
BC's pressure was picked up. Ball tipped at the line of scrimmage. Chris Banks got a mid on it. He's had a really good second half. 13 in red.
Yeah, and it's Chris Banks. This is his last game as well. The 5th-year senior out of Patterson, New Jersey. He has had a couple big plays. He had a sack, now a PBU, and he had that shoestring tackle on Kevin Jennings, preventing the first down on the last drive.
Jennings to throw. He's got all kinds of room to run if he wants to. Instead, he throws over the middle, and the pass is dropped.
Ooh, really a dangerous throw.
Tried to hit Johnson.
Yeah, and he really set up L.J. Johnson to take an absolute kill shot, but it was actually a very good job by Jalen Cheek, the defensive back, of not having a targeting or a hit that would injure the running back. And now on 4th and 5. Surprised they're going no huddle here.
BC brings pressure. Flag down. Jennings going deep. As a receiver, incomplete. Tried to get Moochie Dixon. Let's check the flag, though.
Offside. Defense number 10 lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Repeat, 4th down.
That was Jalen Cheek. So a reprieve, even if temporarily, one for SMU.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a huge penalty, right? Good play by Max Tucker, but it's a huge penalty because now 4th and 6 turns into 4th and 1, and the opportunity to keep this drive alive, just picking up 1 yard.
Jennings to keep it himself, cuts it inside, picks up the first down.
Good job putting his foot in the ground. Pulled a Top Gun, hit the brakes, and they flew right by him.
Right, the outside, that door was shut. Fresh set of downs. Jennings still wants to move quickly. Tried to go downfield. Almost a heck of a catch from his tight end, Adam Moore. Pupil in coverage.
if you're SMU, you need to score twice, and so you got to take shots where you can. Most important thing is picking up first downs and continuing downfield, but you got to assume that one of these big plays has to hit for you.
That one sails over the head of his intended receiver, Jordan Hudson. Yeah, we remarked in the first half how on target Jennings was on so many of his throws. It's gone wanting a little bit here in the second half.
Yeah, it has, and just not as much production, a little bit more pressure from Boston College's defensive front.
BC brings 4. Jennings is going to keep it on the ground. Tries to spin out of danger and picks up the first down. Another Boston College defender is injured on the play. That's Edwin Kalunge. And Kalunge's holding that left leg. The BC staff looks at the redshirt freshman Canadian. One of a handful of Canadians on this BC team.
Reset the game clock to 3:24.
Kalenge's from Montreal.
Yeah, he went to high school in Connecticut, and he was New England Defensive Player of the Year coming out of high school, and he's been a good addition, especially in terms of his pass rush to this Boston College defensive front. Good to see him walk off the field.
I think a dude like Kalenge plays youth hockey and scares the bejesus out of people at that size.
I mean, probably.
Just think about that.
Again, you grow up in really Boston or North, and it's not pick up basketball, right, it's pick up hockey everywhere.
You're like, it's too scary to play hockey. Kind of like you were when you were playing lacrosse in high school.
Yep.
Jennings to throw. Steps up. Levine out of the backfield, but he won't get very far. Hammered out of bounds by Tucker.
The pass rush again from Donovan Izaraku. Had to speed up that process for Kevin Jennings. Boston College just rushing 4.
Jennings steps up. Levine, he can't handle it. Jennings has had a handful of drops from his receivers in this game today. A couple of calls that didn't go his way that maybe he and SMU fans thought should have. Still battling though. 3rd and 10. Again, BC bringing just 4. Jennings has room to run if he chooses to. Instead, he lets it sail well over the head of his receiver. Also on a couple of occasions, Mark, he's had room to run the ball and pick up positive yardage, and he's opted to go well downfield on a day when the wind is really blowing and it's really difficult to pass downfield.
Yeah, and I kind of think his inexperience showed on that play right there, right? You're getting these play calls in from your coach saying, okay, we need to have shots downfield. We need to pick up chunk plays, right? And at that point, on 3rd down and 10, with that much green grass in front of you, I think that kind of crept in his mind a little bit. Hey, we need chunk plays, and we need to score fast. Where I think it might have been more beneficial if he just, picked up the first down, lived to fight another down. But either way, again, you got to pick up 10 yards here. This, for all intents and purposes, is the game.
Well, we got a timeout. Let's send you to the studio. Matt Berry, what's going on?
All right, Chris Connor, we have kept kick at 2:15 p.m. Eastern, so it's on you to get it done on time. Either way, Xavier Restrepo, the great slot receiver from Miami, he's looking to make an impact today against Rutgers, coming up just under 10 minutes here on ESPN.
All right, thank you, Matty. I'll do my best. Look at that clock, 8:48 in the upper left. We got a lot of pressure on us. I expect Restrepo to get a lot of catches in that game. He's that underneath receiver for the Hurricanes. They use him a ton. Rutgers and Miami coming up next from Yankee Stadium. You've got 2:46 left to play in this one, though. 4th and 10. BC brings pressure. Jennings steps up, gets rid of it, overshoots his receiver, and it falls incomplete.
And it was Chris Banks again who got pressure on Kevin Jennings. They send pressure. Watch number 13. Again, loops in and gets right in the face of Kevin Jennings, forcing him to throw the ball high. And Chris Banks has been a Boston College Eagle for a long time, and he is having a phenomenal day today, as is this entire defense for Jeff Hafley, limiting an SMU team that averages over 40 points a game to only 2 touchdowns.
SMU has 2 timeouts on the board, but with just 2 minutes and 40 seconds left to play, fans are making their way to the exits here at Fenway. Castellanos will keep it. Still on his feet as he dances to the 30. Inside the 20 and slides down at the 15.
And you're like, this is speed. Watch Castellanos break away after he gets the initial, right, his hand goes down, then watch it. I mean, he's even with everyone else on the SMU team, and he's just gone. I mean, he has such good explosion, and what he has done on the ground has been phenomenal today. And so Thomas Castellanos is our Capital One player of the game. 102 yards through the air, but it's the 148 on the ground that made a difference in this game.
And he's just going to keep it. Stiff arms the defender, still on his feet. Ridden out of bounds at the 12.
Well, as Jeff Hafley talked to us about, and his excitement for what Thomas Castellanos can do going forward, getting excited to have an entire offseason with him. You know, from the moment he stepped on the field, and it was in that Holy Cross game, the Boston College faithful said, look, this is a different guy. This is something that we haven't seen at our program for a very long time. And I think the excitement for Jeff Hafley is real about building this team around number 1, and excited to see what that's going to look like at the beginning of next season.
SMU calls their second timeout.
Timeout, SMU, 30-second timeout. Clock operator, please put 1:37 on the game clock.
You know, we were talking to Hafley about Castellanos, and I said, you know, given the weather, what we're expecting to see at Fenway, am I off base in thinking that you'd like to see Castellanos run the ball 30 times? And he said, I don't care if it's 80 and sunny. I'd like to see Castellanos run the ball 30 times, you know?
Yeah. I mean, that's what there's certain teams, right? You turn on the game to watch a certain player, and that's what Thomas Castellanos is for Boston College. You know, he's electricity in a bottle, and he is just he's been phenomenal. And I think, like, there was a lull in his play kind of towards the end of the season, and they went on a 5-game winning streak, and then they hit Virginia Tech and had a poor performance by really the entire team, and that was a disappointing loss. And Castellanos got banged up and wasn't healthy during that stretch, but the coaching staff talked about his health is good, right? He's back to normal. He's got full range of motion with his arms and his legs, and you saw that he was going to come out and run the ball with confidence, but the coaches said really it's been his passing game over the past month that's been drastically improved, and we didn't get to witness it today, but that's the next step for Thomas Castellanos in his development.
Yeah, Hafley touched on his passing, said he's been passing the ball better in this 2 weeks preparation for this bowl game than he's seen him all year.
Yep.
So Boston College fans excited not only about Castellanos coming back next year, but the majority of this team is coming
everybody's coming back. And And you saw some flashes from some of the young guys as well. You know, the Jaden Skeet, the Nate Johnson, Jeremiah Franklin, their tight end is only a sophomore. Kai Robichaux can come back as well. So they're going to return a lot.
Use their final timeout of the half. 30 seconds. Clock operator, please put 1:29 on the game clock, please.
Tough crowd here at Fenway.
They're cold.
SMU used the final timeout.
They want to go home.
They want to get to the Capital One Trophy presentation afterward.
That's true. It's interesting the way that this ballpark's set up, right? There's the exposed seats, and they're all red. And the seats that are darker and blue are kind of under the awnings, and the entire crowd is naturally under the awnings.
Except for the bands. Got to give them credit.
Yep.
Bands have been out in the weather all day long, as has our crew. Tip a cap to them as well. There you see the fans, mostly red seats open. Blue seats covered as you see the rain coming in sideways. Still a hardy bunch that are up on the Green Monster, though.
Oh, yeah.
There's still about 24 or so fans that have made their way up to the seats atop the Green Monster, and they've been there all day as well. And the wind and rain is just howling up there.
And some of them are not appropriately dressed at all. Like the guy in just the poncho, like
he looked like he was not.
No, he looked. Yeah,
he was inappropriately.
He's like,
dressed.
wait, I'm going where?
Look at that dude. He's like,
just no.
He was one of the ones that was booing when Lashley called that last
exactly.
time out.
Yep. That's a meme.
That's like my son wanted to come to this game, and boy, does he owe me one. Castellanos following a blocker. If he picks up the first down, it's over. He's right at the marker.
Ball came loose. At least it's not in Castellanos' hands anymore. Looks like they're ruling that he was down.
And they are ruling that it was a first down, and now all BC has to do is take a knee and run out this clock.
And that feels good, right? Jeff Hafley, losing your last 3 games of the year, you really left a bad taste in his mouth. And you know, he knew that obviously injuries were involved, a bunch of things were involved, but to get this win.
Well, that's really going to send this crowd off.
Yeah, let's get another shot of that guy. Is he still up there with the in his poncho?
I think he was even just too cold to boo. Look, he's there. He's just like.
Yeah, but you know what? I'll tell you what. That's the you play. Yeah, you play a little Mr. Brightside out here.
Now he's rocking. Now he's got the blood flowing.
Yeah, the Killers can do wonders for a crowd, and yeah, look at that.
Yeah. He went from misery to elation in a matter of seconds.
It's, you know, I'll tell you what. And what an example of a dad taking his son out to a game. He got the poncho, the kid got the big jacket and the raincoat.
Gets to sing at the end. Watch BC get the W. Yeah.
Yes.
He's a BC guy too. He's got the Boston College sweatshirt underneath. What a
this is the guy. This will be.
And if we hadn't have already given out the Capital One Player of the Game, that might be it.
This is the Herzlich and Cotter sponsored Player of the Game.
First down, Boston College.
Brought to you by Red Ponchos.
Yeah, I don't know if the horse blanket's going to work very well on a day like today. That thing is soaked.
Yep, but you know, can't stop the Killers. People are still singing.
Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl just seconds away. We'll send it over there as soon as we wrap it up here. Down to Yankee Stadium. Rutgers in Miami. Castellanos letting that play clock wind down. He'll have to snap it one more time, as he's already offering up congratulations, getting congratulations from the SMU defense. These two teams got to know each other a little bit today. They'll get to know each other a lot more in the years to come as SMU joins the ACC. Full schedule next year, including a game in Highland Park against Boston College at the newly renovated Gerald J. Ford Stadium.
Just got right down there on the neck. It's gonna be cold. It's sticky.
Our final from Fenway in the Wasabi Fenway Bowl. Boston College 23 and SMU 14. For our entire crew here, great job, everybody. I'm Chris Connor. We will see you next time. Let's